Class of biology. So in the previous videos we were studying about biological classification chapter 2. We have already studied about kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, and now we have to study about kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. And in the last of this chapter we also have to study some of the organisms that are not included under kingdom under the 5 kingdom classification by R.H. Whittaker. Okay, so moving to the kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae includes all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms. Okay, so their cells are eukaryotic and they are having chlorophylls in their cells. So what do you mean by that? They can do photosynthesis. They are strictly autotrophic. But there are exceptions. Have you heard about insectivorous plants? Like what? Bladderwort, okay, Venus flytrap, Drosera, all that have you heard? So these are insectivorous plants. They can also be called as partially parasitic plants. Why? Because they need insects, okay, or they can trap insects and digest and can derive some nutrients from them. Okay, so because of this they are known as what? Partial parasites, or they are insectivorous plants. So do they do photosynthesis? Yes, they do photosynthesis. They are having chlorophyll in their cells and they can do photosynthesis only for the purpose of what? Some minerals they digest the insects. Okay, so then another kind of exception is what? Parasitic plants. Have you heard about Cuscuta? Cuscuta is a it's a parasitic plant. You can see them as yellow threads, okay, covering some of the plants. Okay, they'll be just seeing them as what? Yellow threads hanging from the trees. So this Cuscuta, they are not able to do photosynthesis. But there are certain other parasitic plants which do photosynthesis, but they are still parasitic. Why? Because they take the nutrients, okay, water, minerals and other nutrients from the plants, and then they do photosynthesis by their own. Okay, so some of them can, okay, some of the parasites they take the nutrients and they do photosynthesis. So they are also what? Not fully parasite, they are partial parasites. Okay, so what? Cuscuta is an example for complete parasite, where what happened? They take the prepared food from the plants. Okay, so they need not to do any photosynthesis. Okay, so these are exceptions, but otherwise the plants are photosynthetic, okay, or they are autotrophic. Okay, they can do photosynthesis. Then their cells, if you see, their cells are having cell wall which is made up of cellulose. Okay, and then another important feature that you can find in this plant kingdom is alternation of generation. So what do you mean by alternation of generation? That is the two phases, that is diploitic sporophytic phase and haploid gametophytic phase. Okay, this will get alternate each other. In the life cycle of a plant, you can see two phases. The first is what? Diploid sporophytic, okay, and the other is the haploid gametophytic. Diploid and haploid, do you know what it is? Diploid means if the cell is having two sets of chromosome, that is called diploid cell. Okay, and if a cell is having only one set of chromosome, then it is haploid. Okay, for example, in human being, if a cell is having 46 chromosome, it's an example of a diploid cell. It is having two sets of chromosome, a set of 23 chromosome and the other set of 23 chromosome. And in gametic cells, you can see only 23 chromosomes. So that are what? Examples of haploid cells in human being. Okay, so likewise, if a plant cell is having two sets of chromosomes, then it is diploid, and if it is having only one set of chromosome, then it is haploid. Okay, so you can see that the diploid sporophytic phase. What do you mean by sporophytic? Sporophyte means those phase of plant which produces the spores. What are the spores? For example, in pteridophytes, you have studied that spores they produce, isn't it? In 9th class you have seen the spores are the reproductive structures in them. Okay, so in higher plants, if you see, the pollen grain is a spore. Okay, so the ovule is a spore, megaspore, and pollen grain is the microspore. So they are producing spores, isn't it? So that spore producing stage of a plant is known as what? Sporophytic phase. Clear? And the haploid phase or gametophytic phase means what? Which is the gamete producing phase, which produces the gametes. Okay, so pollen grain, as you know, it is not the correct gamete, male gamete. So after pollination, pollen grain produces the male gametes. That much you have not studied, but you will study in detail later. Okay, so pollen grain is the microspore and it produces the male gamete. So what you can see that the male gamete, okay, the male gametes are produced by the male gametophyte, which is present inside the pollen grain. So is it clear what I said? Pollen grain is the spore, and inside that you can see the male gametophyte, which produces the male gametes later after pollination. Understood? So the phase which produces, likewise in female also. Okay, the inside the ovule only what? The female gamete is there. Ovule is not the gamete. Okay, so you can see that two phases. One phase is what? Which produces the spores, like microspore, megaspore, etc. Okay, and in lower cases, what? They simply produces the spores. Okay, now see the spores. The sporophytic phase produces the spores, and the gametophytic phase that produces the gametes. So like this, two phases. What are they? The sporophytic phase and the gametophytic phase, they alternate with each other. Okay, so this is a very important or special feature of plant kingdom. Okay, then the length of the haploid and diploid phases and whether these phases are free living or dependent on others, that varies in different groups of plants. Like in algae and bryophytes, the actual plant body, which is the gametophytic phase, or which is the gametophyte which produces the gametes, what you are seeing is a gametophyte, and on the top of that they produce the gametes. Clear? And then in sporophytic phase is very much reduced in this kind of lower plants like algae and bryophytes. But when you come to the higher plants, okay, like mango tree or coconut tree, the actual plant what you are seeing is a sporophytic plant. Okay, its phase is sporophytic, and they produce spores, and the spores and the gametophytic in this type of higher plants will be very short, and they will be confined inside the microspore and megaspore itself. So I told you there are two what phase in the plant's life. What are they? Gametophytic phase and what? Sporophytic phase. This two will get alternate each other. So this is very important feature of what? Plant kingdom. And plants include, okay, the different groups of plants are algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, so if you consider the general characters of plants, they are eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms which can do photosynthesis. Their cell wall, their cells are having cell wall with which is made up of cellulose. Okay, they shows alternation of generation. Their stored food material is starch. Okay, so these are the characters of kingdom Plantae. Okay, now we will go to the next group, that is kingdom Animalia. So when you see the kingdom Animalia, you can see that they are strictly heterotrophic, okay, and their cells lack cell wall. There won't be cell wall. They directly depend on plants for their food, okay, and they store food in the form of glycogen or fat, okay. They store the food in the form of glycogen or fat, okay, and their nutrition mode is holozoic. You have studied that, isn't it? They ingest the food and the ingested food material will be digested inside their digestive system, isn't it? And they are able to do locomotion, okay. They are able to move, understood? And the sexual reproduction is by the copulation of male and female, and it will be followed by embryological development. And they shows definite growth patterns, means after what growth completes, okay, they will all have more or less size, more or less same size and shape of a particular organism, understood? So animals growth, okay, that is definite, okay. They follow the definite growth pattern, and they grow into adults that have a definite shape and size, isn't it? Human being size, they may vary in little bit, what they are taller or they are shorter. Likewise, there will be little bit difference, but an average size or shape can be what there, isn't it? For human being, the size and shape will be same, and likewise an elephant size and shape will be different from human being, understood? So their size and shape will be definite, clear, after their growth, understood? Okay, so this is what characteristic of kingdom Animalia. What are they? They are what, eukaryotic, heterotrophic, okay. Their reserved food material is glycogen or fat. Mode of nutrition is holozoic. They shows definite growth pattern and grow into adults that have definite shape and size. Clear? Okay. So next group of organisms that are not coming under kingdoms. This 5 kingdom classification are viruses, viroids and lichens. So viruses you would have heard, isn't it? They are connecting link between living and non-living organisms, okay. That is, they shows the life, the symptoms of life only when they are inside the cell, okay. When it is outside, they will not show any symptom of life, understood? They can be just crystallized, okay. So if you see the structure of a virus, they will have a protein coat that is known as the capsid, okay. The protein coat of the virus is known as capsid, and inside the capsid you can see the genetic material, okay. The genetic material can be what, RNA or DNA. So each unit of capsid, okay, capsid is what, the protein coat of the virus is called what, capsid. And the capsid are having the units of capsid is known as capsomeres. What it is? Capsomeres. And this capsid, they protect what, RNA or DNA, the genetic material. So viruses can have either RNA or DNA, okay. And the virus, in short, you can say it has a nucleoprotein. It contains only what? Nucleic acids and proteins. They are not having a cell. Just imagine our bacteria. Bacteria is having a cell which is prokaryote, isn't it? So this kind of, okay, this kind of organisms which are not even having a cell, okay, is what, our viruses, okay. So viruses, if they attack the plants, they are known as plant viruses, and if they attack the animals, they are the animal viruses, understand? So you can see that the viruses which are attacking plants or which are parasitizing the plants are known as plant viruses, and their genetic material, if you see, they will have single stranded RNA, okay. And the viruses that affect animals or animal viruses, they can have either single or double stranded RNA or double stranded DNA, understood? And bacteriophages are viruses which attacks the bacteria, and they will have what? They will have the double stranded DNA, okay, as the genetic material. So each virus, they are having what? They are having a protein coat and the genetic material, okay, and this protein coat is known as the capsid, and the capsid is having a number of units known as capsomeres, and this protects. So this is, okay, this is the protein coat. What you are seeing is, okay, this is an example. This is the bacteriophage, okay, bacteriophage it is, and this is the tobacco mosaic virus with the RNA as the genetic material. Okay, so here it will be having DNA, double stranded DNA as the genetic material, and this will be protected inside this protein coat. Clear? Now the protein coat's function is what? It protects the genetic material. Once they attack the cell, host cell, this protein coat will stay outside. They will never enter into the cell. Only it injects, okay, the genetic material into the host cell. And this genetic material of this virus will go and place itself in between the genes of the host cell, and it takes up all the cellular machinery. Means they are not having, viruses are not having cells, so what they do, they just take over the cellular machinery, like what? Mitochondria, okay, then what? Ribosomes, all the organelles, they will be under the control of what? The viral DNA now, or RNA, viral RNA or viral DNA, okay, and the host cells, what? Different organelles will start working according to the instruction of the viral gene. So in this way only virus attacks a cell. Understood? It multiplies and it produces what? A number of offsprings. Okay. So first time this virus, the name virus was given by Pasteur D.J. Ivanovsky. Okay. So he found them in plants of tobacco, causing a disease known as mosaic disease of tobacco. Okay. Then he found that these viruses are not passing through the bacterial filters also. Bacterial filters are used to filter bacteria, but these viruses can easily come out from the bacterial filters. Means what? They are smaller than the bacteria. They can easily get filtered. Okay. And Bejering, he could found that this infections, okay, the extract of the infected plants of tobacco can cause what? Infection in even healthy plants, and he called it as the Contagium vivum fluidum. Okay, Contagium vivum fluidum. And W.M. Stanley, he said that the viruses can be crystallized, and these crystals are mainly containing proteins. Understood? So they are obligate parasites. Obligate parasites means what? Which cannot live what? Without a host cell. They are always parasites. Okay, so about viruses you understood. Viruses are what? Connecting link between living and non-living organism. They will not show any symptom of life when they are outside the body of the organism, and they shows what? The symptoms of the life only when they are coming in contact with the living cells. Clear? They can do the multiplication and all by using the cellular machinery of the host cell. Okay, so now next I am going to teach about another group of organism known as viroids. Viroids are group of organism which are not even having a protein coat. Viruses, at least they are having what? A protein coat. Okay, viroids are not even having a coat. So viruses are having what? At least protein coat, but viroids are not having a protein coat also. They are simply free RNA, and it was in 1971 Dana, okay, discovered that there are certain organisms that causes a disease called potato spindle tuber disease. So when it was observed, it was found that they are not even virus, but it is free RNA that can cause the disease. Okay, and the RNA of these viroids are having less molecular weight than the RNA of the viruses. Okay, so next group of organisms that are not included under 5 kingdom classification are lichens. Have you heard about lichens? Yes, lichens are symbiotic association of algae and fungi. Algae is known as the phycobiont and the fungal component is known as the mycobiont. Okay, the phycobiont is the algal member which prepare the food for the fungus, and the mycobiont, they absorb what? The minerals, water, etc. for the phycobiont. Okay, so phycobiont is what? The algal component and which make the food for the other partner, and mycobiont is the fungal partner which absorbs the nourishment, okay, for the plants. Okay, means it absorbs water and minerals from the soil and give to the the fungal to the algal partner. Understood? So they are also they can easily indicate pollution. Okay, they are good indicators of pollution, because if their population is less in a particular area, that indicates that in that particular area there is more pollution. Okay, pollution is high in that area if the population of lichen is less. Understood? Because they cannot live in polluted areas. So I hope you understood. We have studied about kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia, viruses, viroids and lichens in this video. Okay, so this much will be there for your pre-midterm exam. So go through the lessons properly so that you can write the answers. Thank you.